Hey everybody, just a really quick hello here. It is currently Thursday, June 10th, and I am just looking at our due dates. So we're literally past the midterm, which I suppose was officially Wednesday, but past the midpoint of our course. So really just a couple of weeks left, and we're zooming right along. So we've also finished then the midterm, which was due on Tuesday, June 8th. And again, I've discussed how it was slightly different just in terms of you're submitting a Word document through Blackboard as opposed to posting through discussion board. But now what you'll find is not only the grade for that, and by and large they were all really excellent discussions of interesting character parallels or kind of metaphoric parallels that people were seeing in different texts, or types of character relationships, or people going through certain kinds of journeys, which is another metaphor we'll be looking at in future units like Unit 6 just coming up. And then also a few people explored the other option where you're taking the allegory of the cave metaphor of kind of enlightenment, coming to new knowledge sort of thing, and trying to reflect on how that's happened to you personally relative to what you've been reading in the course. So again, lots of interesting approaches that people took. So I provided the numerical grade, or a percentage grade is what it should show up as. But I've also reattached the document that you sent me with comments within the text. So you want to read through that. Again, just for reasons of time, I haven't been able to provide very substantial commentary, especially, and this is the irony, if your work was really good, there's not a lot that I can say beyond good job, and so obviously that's reflected in the good grade, but you don't maybe get a lot of feedback from me. So, but be sure to look through that document that I've reattached then for any little notes or questions or certain kinds of corrections. And it's worth pointing out again, I've mentioned this before, that this isn't a writing course, so I really haven't focused on mechanics that much in terms of sentence level things and the MLA citation and that sort of thing. And people have tried to get that right, and sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't, but that's really not within the purview of what we're studying here for us to be worried too much about that. Obviously, mechanics become an issue when they get in the way of clarity, and so that's really the only time where you're going to lose points for the mechanical or the writing side of things, as opposed to the content, which is really what we're more concerned with. As far as content goes, again, as with the discussion board posts, I'm looking largely for a good thesis, topic sentences that obviously pursue that thesis in some nuance or refinement, and then direct quotation from the text. So in many ways, the midterm is evidence for me that shows that you have actually read what we're supposed to be reading and have internalized it enough so you can go back and kind of find particular pieces to prove a larger thesis. So again, read through that document that I sent back for some more comments where I was able to provide them. So we move on to Unit 6, the middle period, which is due Friday, June 11th. And I've just added a bunch of YouTube clips from to Unit 6 from a History Channel series called The Dark Ages. And the whole name of that is kind of funny in that one of the things we often talk about as far as comparative literature goes is actually how things get named, or why they get named and by whom, and obviously the connotations that go along with that. So imagine you lived during the Dark Ages only to find hundreds of years later somebody called it the Dark Ages. You'd be like, hey, what the hell, you know? How come I couldn't be called the Enlightenment or something like that? So the series itself does sort of play out this aspect of the Dark Ages being this time of just kind of nothingness aside from random violence and that kind of thing. But we're trying to see it a little bit more productively in our course. Anyway, I've provided a whole bunch of trailers from the series, which you can watch. You can pick and choose or watch all of them. They're really more for interest's sake than substantial content for our course. I'm just, scrolling through and I haven't seen the series itself, but I've watched the trailers and they're really well produced, so they're fun to watch just for that. Other fun trailers that'll show up, well, I'll let you discover them. If you're a video game fan, you'll like a couple of the other trailers. Anyway, So much for the short announcement. But again, look for that document that I've sent back from the midterm, and obviously now is a really good time to make sure, start to midterm of the course that you've received credit for all the grades and everything sort of looks like it's in place as we get very quickly towards the end of our class. All right, I'll talk to everybody soon.